Hey you, so on this video, why the collector coin market crashed, I'm going to be going over a few opinions and reasons as to why I believe that happened and just give my interpretation or meaning of crashed. So before we get into this, I'd like to say if you haven't done so already and you like what you hear, please do go ahead and subscribe. Now I'm going to be showing off some I try to get just what I get my hands on, more of the proof collector coins that I picked up in the past. So I've got this Back to the Future. This is a very early pickup, somewhat I would say even one of my first gimmick coins that I picked up. I don't unboxed with these when I first got them. You can see the dates running in the background there. It's funny really because I picked up quite a few of these. It's definitely a handful. And of the hoverboard, but over the years I've done a lot of trades with dealers. This was one coin that I couldn't palm off to them. Now I did end up selling one personally. Like I've always said, sometimes it's some of the biggest gimmicks that tend to do very well, and I believe this definitely falls into that category, as the DeLorean itself is very, iconic. So I doubt I would have too much trouble with really liquidating these. So I've tended to just hold on to them, but I don't have high hopes. But I think over the price paid and the market as it was then to the market as it is now, I think if you picked up a lot of certain coins back then, you could still capitalize, because it's like a totally different market now as to what it was then. So there is somewhat of an opportunity from having these coins then. But when we're talking proof, high premium you paid at the time, prices was cheaper then because spot price was cheaper then. Mints and dealers didn't really get into a lot of the scandalous tactics that they've got into now. But nevertheless, here's some of these. So I have no doubts that these will continue to do well. So you got the batteries and some other stuff that I put in there. This was a bit of a light show. So this is literally a whole Christmas tree when we started this piece up. So here's the DeLorean, one of the pieces. So I believe the market has crashed even since stuff like this was picked up. If I can remember how to even open this. Let's get a button press somewhere. Here we go. I think the market has crashed, the collector coin market. Speaking on the modern stuff, once again, just putting that disclaimer out there. Everything I'm saying here is my own personal thoughts and opinions also. But I also believe a lot of the older coins are also suffering when we're talking collector coins. It could also boil down to some of the reasons I'll be explaining here, or it can have different reasons altogether. But, when we're talking a lot of the modern pieces, I think it crashed, and when I say crashed, I mean it's nowhere near what it used to be. It's very stale now, very stagnant, and mints and dealers are having to do different tactics. So this is what I mean by crashed. You're not seeing a lot of the hits that you saw back then. Is it a whole different landscape? Yes, but I believe what led to that landscape is the things, I'll say the top 5 things I'm going to be mentioning here. And number 1 is going to be too many gimmicks. Now, it all depends on what you call a gimmick. What one man's gimmick is another man's treasure. When this came out, people was screaming, "Oh, one gimmick too far." 2015, I believe it was. We could see we suffered from any spots or anything there. Not that I can see highly reflect this stuff here, so I'm in and out of the shot. But as I mentioned, this was one man's gimmick and this was another man's treasure. But this was no means that they started, and they was doing it way before them, but a lot of mints, and especially Perth, have ramped that up, so they've been going on way too many on these types of coins. Gimmick can fall under the banner of licensed stuff, so you'll have like memorabilia, movie, Hollywood, film franchises, then they may go on to other franchises, but they really focus, and Perth Mint do it very heavy, and I think they've got very aggressive with their film franchise, memorabilia, licensed stuff. And so I think in the end it blew a lot of people out. That may not be what coin collecting was all about, but when you're talking modern coin collecting, it just may not be something a lot of people want. There wasn't there was no gimmicks for a lot of the older stuff. It was your everyday coins that just went on to become worth something if it was less circulated, better condition and the likes of. Whereas in the modern game, you had to spice things up. So you had things like this and all of this extra stuff where they was doing these extra things, making these extra pieces. But one gimmick too far. So I think on the road to the gimmick, it's where we end up where we are now. So I believe that was one of the reasons as to why the modern coin collector market definitely crashed. Now, a next reason would have been lack of creativity, and that's just following off of too many gimmicks. You had the Lunar series. here's the Lunar series. Then next thing you know, every mint and their mother's doing a Lunar series. It was just becoming like, hey, monkey see, monkey do. That is also a massive problem that is suffering in the current market with Hollywood. Once again, mentioning Hollywood, where they're just constantly rebooting movies. But I don't think you need to do that when you're talking something like a collector coin market. Budgets are totally different. I think you have a lot more flexibility because you're technically dealing with art. What is art? But putting something or whatever it may be on a coin, on a die, and producing it. So I don't think you really need to do a monkey see, monkey do. I think if you put enough budget into research, and another thing that I'll be getting on in a moment, then you can have a very vibrant, active, enjoyable collection and collectors and people and flippers. All in all, I've always mentioned it's yin and yang. One side of the coin is the next side of the coin. So you need the cowboys as much as you need the collectors. What happens when one side goes? Well, what we've got now. The hardcore collectors are still there, but they're still looking at the things that was once highlighted and brought to the forefront and made a massive tsunami wave of what the cowboys done. So, the cowboys could have left, but you still have the collectors there, but it's a stagnant market. And the mints are technically catering, and the dealers are catering to the cowboys, especially when they're looking at secondary market prices and some of the tactics that they're now doing. So I think lack of creativity. You just got a Lunar series, and every mint done a Lunar series. Then you just had, a one-off series. They've recently spiced things up, but some just haven't got the message, and it's just turned a lot of people off. Something can come out today and it will just be, they're milking dragons to death. How many variants of a dragon can Perth Mint do? Drinking game on each new dragon Perth bring out, and every other mint also follows the lead. So it's just absolute lack of creativity that absolutely slaughtered the market. Next would be bad quality control, horrendous quality control. From mints, you wouldn't expect it, but it is what it is. They just seem to have put quality on the back burner. And you could easily put milk spots down with that banner. You could say, okay, it's not a proof coin, but it's an issue that can be addressed and fixed, but doesn't seem to even be addressed. It's just something that they wish they can just tuck under the carpet and never have to hear about it again. And that's a bad thing when it looks like the people that you're spending your money with don't care about a massive issue. You can't purchase a proof coin and get a guarantee that it's not going to spot up. If that's the case, then do you really want to be putting your money there? There are other forms, but they are making these coins and highlighting the proof finish and, the excellent finish and all of these things. And they're having massive problems. Every mint has an issue, from the Perth to the Royal Mint. Some mints are a lot worse than others, hands down. Even on their proof stuff, gold and silver, I would easily say the Royal Mint has definitely built up a very bad reputation now of just delivering shoddy goods. It'll have a quality control sticker on, and by no means did that pass quality control. I've seen graded coins from them that they got graded, even dealers, where even the grading companies are involved in it, where they clearly haven't gone over the coin because there's a massive defect on it. I've seen a coin with a gash in it receive a 70. So it's just one big joke, and it became one joke too many. Fool me once, fool me twice. A lot of people got absolutely turned off. The mints were taking the mick, dealers were taking the mick, sending these coins out, and then you had the grading companies clearly taking the mick, leaving you scratching your head thinking, what's going on here? Is it one big scandal I'm involved in? Because this was sent to a grading company where you believe the coins are in hand, one gone over with a fine-tooth comb to receive this high grade, this high coveted grade, and then come to find out that it's just a pasta parcel. A couple of guys sit in a room, see it came from one of the big companies, I don't know, Atmex, Royal Mint, or one of these dealers, and everybody's in bed together. So that was another reason why I believe it crashed the collector coin market. And next one is going to be dealer greed. It's something that we all know. That's led to many outcomes now, when you're seeing a lot of dealers and mints having to take different avenues now. It became pointless and I believe these things only happen because hard times came upon them. When hard times came upon them, they've had to take different courses of action. Not saying once upon a time they wouldn't have a coin, see it doing well, and sell the coin and see it doing well on the secondary market and may increase the price. it's now they're watching it like a hawk. You know, I think if it can do well, it has potential to do well, they've increased the prices within minutes. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and you'll only get this really with the dealers. Mints, how they're being a little scandalous, i.e. the Royal Mint, is just hiking the prices up on standard coins on release. You know, and sometimes it could be an identical coin. Case point, the current sovereign, time of releasing this video, we got the Brexit sovereign, where they've marked it up considerably because it's got a little privy mark on. Is it bad? No. Is it business? Yes. But it's bad business in many people's eyes. When you've got the flippers complaining and the true hardcore collectors complaining, then there's something wrong, isn't there? But if you have the mint happy, but they're not producing on their end, i.e. creativity, quality, that's number one. And even reliability in terms of giving everybody the opportunity to get, they don't care. They may write some type of statement on their social media platforms, but they really don't care. They love the circus, chaos out of control. Then that's what's turned off a lot of people. As I mentioned, you see mints and dealers having to take new tactics. And many people have asked me why I wasn't contacted or given some of these coins that, you know, to give lip service to. And it's because I don't tap dance like that. You know, I've always said what I wanted to say. I do a video series, Good, Bad, Ugly, giving these mints and dealers free publicity and just give my own thoughts and opinions. That's built up a bit of a fan base. But, you know, they're having to take these courses and measures just to try and produce and swindle more people now, because if they would address the concerns that I'm mentioning here, the crowd wouldn't be gone. But now they're watching more videos. Believe you me, if you could have 10 subs, the mints are watching your videos. People have told me, you know, when I've done the videos in the past, the Good, Bad, Ugly, that these mints specifically, I know the South African mint, they've left a comment in my comment section about quality, for instance, and they've been contacted by the Perth Mint, by the Royal Mint, by the South African Mint. These are some of the largest mints. A rep from the Canadian Mint have contacted them from them leaving a negative comment in one of my videos. So they're having to take these measures like that, quality damage control, but they're not doing the right things on these measures. You know, now they're handing out coins to influencers that they believe are influencers, and I'm always getting asked, you know, what I think about these coins daily, and it can be from a mint either to a coin that they see doing the rounds, and all I could do is give my reaction to their actions. You know, my views on something like the Germania Mint are always going to be, I think they're no different than the Scottsdale Mint in the making. I think they're worse. I think they do very nice designs, but I don't think they're worth quality in the end of the day. And if you've got one and it's done well, I always say to sell them while it's hot. And that's my game plan on a lot of these collector coins. Get rid of them while they're doing well, you know, while the iron's hot. Strike. But, you know, I said it from the beginning, I'll say it to the end, and this is why I'm not reached out to for a lot of these things. If you've got a company that's mass producing, just pumping out way too many, it's not going to end well. You know, they've got a good thing going because they may have, you know, a bit of PR going about, but all you need to do is look at the secondary market sales. You can't bring out 4 different variations of a gold coin, 5 or 25 different variations, give it a low mintage, but then make another 20 or 5 different coins or the same coin. I always thought that was a bit of a, you know, come on now, over cowboy on their end. You have the LPM triangle coin, recent release. I've done a somewhat of a review on the first coin. I'm just going over a couple of coins that have recently come out. I'm getting a lot of questions about and just throwing it out there in this video. I said what I had to say about the first release on my Good, Bad, Ugly video. You know, it wasn't the first triangle coin released. I guess they didn't like me saying that, so didn't reach out. But I'm more than happy with that, because I would have said the same thing, be it I got one or I didn't get one. You know, it just wasn't the first. I think it's a nice coin, but a lot of people commented that the quality wasn't there. But quality is always going to be 50-50 from person to person. It's never sour grapes with me, you know. It just is what it is, and I just speak my own personal thoughts and opinions. I just speak my own mind, and not to forget that. And that's what I think about them. If you do get any of these coins and they do well, my approach would always be to flip in the early part or while it's hot. It's different these days, as a lot more of these coins are proof coins, as we can see here, whereas once upon a time you'd be looking at bullion coins, so you'd get rolls of, I don't know, kookaburras or something. I see the Simpsons are doing the same thing. You know, they said it was going to end on a certain line, and the same thing with the Germania coins. You know, they said it was going to end in a certain line, but they overproduce more, and people have ended up seeing that was once upon a time, you know, was very strong, very passionate when they was saying the opposite to me, and they found it very hard to mention my name when they ended up saying the same thing that I'm saying about the Germania mint. And it just goes to show sometimes it's not good to be over passionate about something, but I understand some people are collectors, and that I always mention, if you're a collector, then everything I'm saying that means absolutely nothing to you. If you're a king cowboy like myself, or a cowboy in training, and you want to pick up one of these proof coins, for instance, you're not going to be picking them up in rolls, or you want to pick up the bullion coin. Bullion's always going to be the better bet because you spend a lot less coming in, so you're not going to be losing too much should it tank. But if it appreciates, you can also gain a lot more. So that's when you're going to see people picking up these coins in numbers. But when you're looking at a proof coin, for instance, you know, you may not pick up 3 or 4, you may, and let's cap it at that. But you've got a lot to lose if it shouldn't work out, or the mints end up doing exactly what I'm doing. And that leads to the last reason that I'm going to say, and that's going to be high expectations. We have high expectations when we get these coins, and even from the designs and everything and the likes of, but the mints and the dealers just ain't listening. So it's that lack of communication and disconnect from one another that's led to the absolute crash of the market. They're doing whatever they want to do and what they, I believe, feel works best, and that's keep on doing what they want to do, keep on pumping out these things. I can only give my opinions on the actions that I'm seeing. So if I see a mint, for instance, bring out a coin, or a dealer or a private producer, and then they decide to do 5 different variants, I'm going to say, look guys, this other company, for instance, the Rwandan boys I always refer to, they brought out one size, one coin, you know, BU, silver proof, gold, one of each. I'm saying that's a fantastic model. I can see potential. I'm not saying it's an instant hit, but I can see potential when they come out with that method. When we have the high expectations and there's a lack of communication, when they're not listening, their response to that is, well, we're going to mass produce. I understand Perth were saying they wasn't going to do as many as they done on the Simpsons coins. So they're saying we're going to mass produce, but what we'll do to counter and make it look like we're interacting is reach out to you guys on YouTube and give a handful of people some of these coins and have them say something positive and keep on doing the scandalous way. So with that disconnect, we are where we are right now. These are my own personal thoughts and opinions on the market being crashed or dead. Will it come back? Who knows? It's just like many other markets. Not to forget, a lot of people went BTC way or the crypto way, and they've gone to never come back. It's a market whereas you would need spot price to technically double to draw in as many people as there were once upon a time when the Lunar series was blazing hot. I think the future is going to be with a lot of these prestigious coins with heritage. So as bad as it is, you've got a lot of the Roman stuff that does well, like the sovereigns, you know, and there's going to be other picks that they release, and same as the US mint that come out with good classic coins. When we're looking at the Perth mint and these other mints, you know, at time of releasing this, I understand they've got a 007 coin, so another licensed coin. I believe the Royal Mint are coming out with one, so they're going heavy on the licensed stuff. Right now, I wouldn't know what was a hit with the Perth. They've got the Swans and the Dragon Phoenix series, whatever that's called. But, you know, for me personally, I'm looking at more of the stuff with more of a heritage and a strong mint behind it. I know if I get it and I want to sit on it for a while, I'm going to be going proof, preferably gold. You know, if the silver's doing well, then I'll go there. Then that's the way I'm looking and heading. But let me know your thoughts and opinions as to what you believe could have crashed this collector coin market, or do you believe it's still there? Ultimately, it's all about secondary market sales, you know, and if you're buying any of these types of high premium proof coins, the best place you're going to want and get maximum dollar for is going to be somewhere like eBay. A lot of the coins I'm showing now, a dealer wouldn't pay me a premium for at all. You know, I'm going to have to find somebody on eBay that's going to like the coin more than I do, and the coin's going to have enough buzz for them to want to part with their cash and pay more. And a good indication is just looking at the secondary market sales there. Are they on the up? If so, that can be somewhat deceiving also, because you have that situation on the silver Cougarans. You know, it can just be an initial rush and then it just tanks from there. And how liquid are they? But, you know, once again, let me know your thoughts and opinions and your runs. Shout out to a couple of channels that I've seen doing this, and, you know, I believe it's nothing new for them. It's part and parcel for them, just like myself doing the videos. Silver Bean Counter, Losing Louis, and I believe it's Gold Addict, and a handful of others, you know. But, you know, let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys. If you haven't done so already, please do go ahead and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the rebound.